Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Standpoint. Now, let's move to another conversation. After his appointment as Director General of Obi Dati campaign, Akin Osuntokun's name is still on the portal of INEC as senatorial candidate of the Zenith Labour Party. Now, Mr. Akin Osuntokun continues to insist that he has long abandoned that particular ambition for a higher national calling, which is the DG of the Obi Dati campaign. But there are those who believe that he should have publicly denounced that position before taking up this appointment. Now, joining me to talk about this is the suspended National Publicity Secretary Arabambi Abayomi, as well as Olu Martins, member of the media Obi Dati Campaign Council. Good to have both of you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me begin with Mr. Arabambi, because you now seem to be the man in the eye of the storm. You came out and you went against the appointment of Mr. Akin Osuntokun. But your party was quick to say, look, you have been suspended, so you have no grounds to even be raising concerns in the first place. So let me ask you the issues that led to your suspension, because you are currently not in good terms with your party national chairman and secretary.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't want this issue to be dragged into this Obi Dati campaign organization so that, we'll not be putting the cart before the horse. They are all fine gentlemen. I am also part and parcel of the obedient, and are also rooting for Peter Obi as the next president of Nigeria. But the issue at hand is this: when you come to equity, you must come with a clean hand. The now chairman and secretary, they are trying to hoodwink, some negative issues around me, around the party and the obedient group, so that they think they can escape from the manifest crime they committed in Labour Party. I have spent 12 years and 7 months in this party. When I was the deputy chairman in Ogun State, Julius Abure was the state secretary in Edo. The national secretary was not even in the party when I joined. He came with Andy Uba in 2010 when they came to Labour. So for people to know the kind of interest I have and how many governments has come and gone in Nigeria in my state, yet I still remain a bona fide member of the Labour Party. So my brother there, I won't allow them to deceive you all. I have fought with Professor Patti told me based on certain manifest lies from Vice Abure and National Secretary. They are record. I have fought with Kennedy Yere based on manifest lies and distortion of fact from these two gentlemen. I have fought with the NSC and TUC.
Mr. Arabambi, I'm not sure you are answering my question directly. I was asking you what the issues that led to your suspension.
That's what I'm building, I need to build it so that the people listening to me will understand where we are coming from. When this campaign committee was formed, my question to them was this: our president candidates want to enjoy the convergence of our Nigeria interests in Peter Obi forming the next president because they believe in him. When the name was released, I raised the question: why do we have the DG from the south, the deputy DG, the former secretary to Mr. Peter Obi in Anambra, as the deputy director general and campaign manager, and why do we have Clement Ojukwu as the secretary general? That was my sin. But because of the kind of person I was, when all of us started the Labour Party together, we believe in justice, we believe in equity, and we believe in fairness. These are the three attributes that our incoming president said when he said, oh, they have this attribute, let me go and join Labour Party. But today, we are now seeing a different Labour Party who are just trying to sell their own negative vices to the public, to which I am not going to be part and parcel. It is about three things. One, I won't be a party simply because we want to run for election in Lagos State for my national chairman and secretary to forge signature of the justice of the Court of Appeal to INEC for them to dissort facts between the Federal Court, of which I was the one that prosecuted that case up to judgment before the party appeal.
All right, I hope you have evidence
names,
for all of these claims you're making.
I have the certified copy. After this program, I challenge them to ask their lawyer to write to me.
All right,
whether I'm lying
I need
or
to
not.
move the conversation quickly too,
No,
because of time.
Yeah.
I need to move it
I have the document here.
I need to move the conversation
now,
to Olu Martins. All right, so to you, Olu Martins, because the issue really here is whether there was due process was followed in the appointment of the DG, of your now DG, Akin Osuntokun. Many believe that, look, if he was a member, if he still is a senatorial candidate under the ZLP, why is he the Director General of your campaign? I just wanted to speak to that.
Is that
okay?
Okay.
Is that
for you,
for... Yes. Thank you very much. And again, let me say compliments of the season. I think it is imperative at that, very crucially too, that we establish that there's a clear-cut dichotomy between the Presidential Campaign Council and the Labour Party. The Presidential Campaign Council is an ad hoc committee. It's not a standing committee. I have perused the about 46 articles of the Labour Party constitution, and it doesn't cater for how to run a presidential campaign committee. Do not forget that this is Labour Party Presidential Committee, or come, if you like, / Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Committee. The presidential candidate has the prerogative to organize, to put together those whom he thinks within his own wisdom, who he thinks can foster, can help his emergence as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Number one. Number two is the fact that what you call the Obidati movement is an agglomeration, a conglomeration, a coming together, a convocation of party members and non-party members, many of which desire that Peter Obi becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it is even a plus that a member of, quote and unquote, a member of another political party, and the alliances, if you check those who support the candidature of Mr. Peter Obi, there are members of other political parties there. This is without prejudice to what Mr. Akin Osuntokun himself has said. And it is not new, in any case, that somebody holds a position and then he decides to enter an alliance with a political party. This is because this is even the fact that Akin Osuntokun himself has said, I have abandoned this project. I'm no longer interested in it. And you can't force an erection on a man. A man says he's no longer interested in a marriage. All right. Legally, he may still be married to the woman, but he says, look, he can move out of the house, or he can decide to say, you know what, even though we are legally married, I would not have anything to do with you. So you can't force an ambition on a man. The man has said he's no longer interested. The people who should be complaining, in fairness, should be the ZLP. They should be accusing Akin Osuntokun of anti-party activities. They are not accusing him of anti-party activities. So anybody who is not a member of the Zenith Labour Party, who is crying over this matter, is first of all a meddlesome interloper. But more importantly, that person is being more Catholic than the Pope.
But let me jump in, Mr. Olu Martins, because when you say that there is a dichotomy, just a minute, when you say that there is a dichotomy between the Presidential Campaign Council and the Labour Party, your candidate is running on the platform of the Labour Party as much as there is a dichotomy between both. So how many, did you carry members of the Labour Party or the leadership of the Labour Party along in making this decision? Because that's one of the grievances of Mr. Arabambi.
The person who made the announcement is no other person than the chairman of Labour Party, and that is Barrister Julius Aburi. And as a member of the Presidential Campaign Committee, I do not bother myself too much as to how the organs of the party it is not entrenched in anywhere or in the Labour Party constitution how you run a presidential campaign council. It is not in the constitution of the Labour Party, because the presidential campaign council is an ad hoc committee. It's an ad hoc committee whose job will expire in February. It will not continue after February. So the constitution does not tell you how the candidate of the party should choose or should appoint who is the DG or members of the presidential campaign committee. We may want to be strategic, and in our being strategic, we may decide to say, let's lobby, let's talk to a whole lot of persons, let's bring everybody on board. But I did mention again to say, there's a clear-cut dichotomy. Not everybody who supports Peter Obi is a member of Labour Party. There are members of other parties who are in alliances with us. Not everybody who supports Mr. Peter Obi is a member of any political party. It's an agglomeration of interest, and that interest is vested in the person of Mr. Peter Obi and his running mate, that team, who want to be president and vice president of Nigeria. I must acknowledge this so that we can appreciate and accommodate anybody, to streamline it, to reduce it to just a Labour Party activity. It is to be parochial, about this. It's to be parochial, about these issues. Do you understand what I'm saying?
All
so
right.
It is not in any way.
Let me get back to.
And it needs to be established that there's a difference between the Labour Party as a party and the presidential campaign committee. There's a whole world of difference, and that needs to be understood.
All right. Let me take the conversation back to Mr. Bayomi. First of all, you've heard Mr. Alomartins. He said that, look, there is a difference between the Labour Party and the Presidential Campaign Council. And what you're complaining about is basically party activity, which has nothing to do with the campaign council. And number two, there are those who believe that your first point of concern should be whether the capacity of Mr. Akin Osuntokun and whether he can deliver a victory for your party next year. But that doesn't seem to be the issue. You're saying that he is a member of another party. What exactly is your concern or your issue with Mr. Akin Osuntokun?
You see, first of all, we must not throw away the issue of morality, which has been the bane of our problem in Nigeria. And when we are saying we want to take back Nigeria from the strangulators, economic strangulators, back to the owners, who are the owners? Why, if the owners are now saying we don't bother about corruption, we don't bother ourselves about ethnic bigotry, then we are deceiving ourselves. It shows that we are birds of the same feather. Now, there is no difference between the campaign council and the Labour Party. There is no difference. We must not be economical with the truth. The reason is this: all committees, ad hoc committee, are to be approved by NWC and NEC. It's in our constitution. I know the constitution from page 1 to the end. Every committee must be approved by the NWC and NEC, before they are announced. Now, when you say there is a big difference, are you campaigning on the ideology of PDP, on the manifesto of PDP, or on that of Labour Party? I'm going to give it to Mr. Peter Obi. What you are saying is not what he had discussed with us, in the NWC. I can understand where you are coming from. Then, concerning Mr. Akin Osuntokun, I have never had any, reason to do anything with him politically other than when he was the political advisor to Baba Obasanjo. But my question is this: is it morally right for him to lie to Labour Party that he was their candidate before? And I saw a news from the then Labour Party. I don't know whether it's from the chairman that as at August, they cannot substitute candidate. It's a manifest lie. 90 days to election was what Section 32, spoke about. And 90 days to February 25, it's not August. But you see, we will leave that one, for another day. But just because Nigerians are watching us, we needed the vote of Nigeria. We must be able to convince Nigeria that we are different from the path of the present administration, and the path with the PDP administration. But when we are unable to distinguish, then we might have some issues. But for Mr. Peter Obi, he's a fine gentleman. He's enjoying the convergence of interest on him. But what we are saying is this, Mr. Alomartins, we have a corrupt national chairman and secretary who are leading the path. When President Buhari came in 2015, You can see the failure that is generated. But when we now began to see a lot of, snakes swallowing money, corruption here and there, people who come to the party from PDP, they will say, go and see no more. They will absorb them. That was what is giving us the impetus to say, oh, we want to win the election. It is not Buhari per se, but the people he appointed into government, and that's why you see snake will swallow money from the office, they go and commit it inside the bank.
Let me jump in, Mr. Arabambi, because you have said that you are going to sue Mr. Osuntokun if he doesn't resign in 5 days. What grounds do you have to sue when you consider that you were not even the National Publicity Secretary? You were already on suspension at the time where he was appointed.
You see, I've always demanded, chairman and secretary will not just sit down somewhere. They think we are PDP, where everything goes. In Labour Party, before anybody is suspended, a general committee will have to try you. But what are they suspending me over? For the fact that they forged judgment of the Court of Appeal, I took them to court. They stole party money to their private account. I complained, I wrote petition against them. Is that anti-party activities? These are not the people that will lead us well into 2023 election. That is why I'm saying that it is there is a quite distinction between the issue that is happening between me and them, and now lumping that as an anti-party activities. Olu that is there. I don't know whether he has ever seen any letter, or even Mr. President, our president, our incoming president. There was nothing. They could not. I challenge them. They should put out the anti-party activities that I committed. But one thing is very clear before we stop this program. The Supreme Court that I am not going to withdraw it. The petition I wrote to INEC, I'm not going to withdraw it because in 12 years, 7 months, will not be a part of any criminal infraction on the constitution of Nigeria by now chairman and secretary simply because they wanted to put some candidate. We won't say because we want to run for election. We will not be like the people that want to take Nigeria from. They were the ones that committed that crime. It is not about Obidati campaign.
All right, I have a few minutes left. I want to bring in Mr. Olumartins into the conversation. My apologies for jumping in, just because I have a few minutes left and I wouldn't want him not to give a final word. Mr. Olumartins, isn't this an issue of conflict of interest if his name is still on the INEC portal? There are those who wonder why that wasn't resolved, just resolve that before making this announcement.
Let me quickly say, with regards to what Mr. Rabami has said, suspicion, no matter how grave, can never amount to conviction. All of the things that he has said about the national chairman of the party and the secretary are within the realms of speculation and within the realms of suspicion. The law in Nigeria is very unambiguous that any man is innocent until it's otherwise proven by a competent court of jurisdiction. So it is not enough that a suspended National Public Secretary of the party will suo motu by himself find people guilty. Latin maxim says, Nemo Juda in casa sua. You can't be a judge in your own cause. So I thought that as a station, you were going to ask him to provide proof how people move money to their private account. Those are speculations. Those are allegations that have not yet been proven, and they remain so. And I do not want to give credibility to such allegations. Excuse me, sir. I am still. You are not a court.
Mr. Rambambi, allow him finish. He has the floor.
It's a court that can prove. It's a court that can prove that what you are holding is substantial, it is evidential, and it is enough to prove that the people are guilty. You can't by yourself flash papers and say that they are guilty. That's not how the law works in Nigeria. But with
so how did they find out we're guilty about anti-party activities?
You have been suspended, sir. You have been suspended. Suspension is not a judgment, sir. Suspension is not a judgment. It's not a judgment, sir. It's not a judgment. That's why you have been suspended. The party has the right. It is entrenched in your party constitution that any misdemeanor can be disciplined.
How do you know a misdemeanor? How do you know?
I still have the floor. It is decent that you allow the other person to deposit before you bring. I didn't
Mr. Rabami, just allow him to finish, make his point. We have a minute left.
I am still on my feet, and with due respect, I am on my feet, and I will not be stampeded. You had your time. This is my time. and you had the opportunity to deposit to the best of ability. Nobody interrupted you. I'm a decent person. I do not want you to interrupt me. With regards to the emergence of Akin Osuntokun, I am telling you that there's even a plus. For instance, now the rumors arise that the 5 governors of PDP are not working with their principal, Atiku Abubakar. They've just come in from London, where rumor is rife that they will adopt any of the other political, parties. So it is even fine if a man occupies an office who is running for senatorial candidate, and he said, I can be the DG. But the man himself and said, I am no longer interested in this matter. Can you force an aspiration, on a man? If a man says he's no longer interested, can you force an erection upon a man? The man says he's no longer interested in the marriage. Can the wife force a man to have sex with her? But you can't force an erection on the man. The man said, I have abandoned the project. And the Zenith Labour Party, I have heard Danny Wanyanwu say, let this matter be. The campaign council of Akin Osuntokun has written to say, look, we have not done anything with regards to this project. I am no longer interested. If Anyara Rume was expelled by his party, and the PDP did not have a candidate in Imo election, I think it was 2007 or not. So I would expect that the Zenith Labour Party would be the one that would expel Akin Osuntokun and be the one accusing him of anti-party activity. If Mr. Rabambi is doing that, he is crying more than the bereaved, and it amounts to being a medusa interloper. I wish that he would go to court. The court on the basis of local standards.
We do have to leave it there. We've heard from the both of you. We will see how this plays out. We'll see how this plays out. Thank you to both of you, and I hope that you do have evidence for some of the claims you have made, Mr. Rabambi. Thank you so much for talking to us. Suspended National Publicity Secretary Rabambi Abayomi and Olu Martins, member Media Obidati Campaign Council. Thank you both.